purpose is to serve fully and without question the interests of the white colonial master.
There you go. Hi my loves, I hope you're well. I'm Nicole, welcome to this channel. I just wanted to welcome you to this channel and also welcome you to this video, this vlog. Yeah, so I hope you like it here. And I hope you stay, you subscribe, you like, you comment, you share, you tell a friend. Yeah, so welcome to this vlog. Let's see what we have lined up. Let's see what we have lined up in the store for you. I will be wearing it down top. I will be adding this one. If I change, I will let you know. I will be putting on some jewelry. Yay! And I will have something light on top, which will be this one. This is the belt that I'll be putting with the matching purse. So yeah, there we go. And the top, I will pair it with those sneakers. It's all clean, but I don't want to put it on the clothing. So yeah, this is today's fit. Let's get dressed. I think they're matching. I'm wearing this two-piece here right on top. Yes. Wearing Jimmy Choo, I think. Oh, sorry. You know, I always do that when I'm not supposed to. Very, very. It's the purse that I'll be carrying. Just put myself in, and I like the fact that it's matching with the belt. So let's go to Robben Island. I will take some sunglasses as well because of the heat. Let's do it. There we're gonna go with some people or just people?
Yes, so I'm not going with you to Robben Island.
Oh, okay, there's someone. The diamond shop that I was supposed to work for. We are going to jail this time. We're going to jail. We are going to jail. We're gonna leave our bed soon. You're gonna see that?
No, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
What you will experience today will be truly unforgettable. Today, we are proud to be traveling on the Crotoa. This boat carries the name of an important woman in the history of our country. As a girl, she was an interpreter between the Dutch and the Khoi. She lived on Robben Island as the post holder's wife, only to return there as the first woman political prisoner. She died on Robben Island in 1674. Please relax and pay attention as we take you on this special journey. For some of you, being on a boat in the ocean is a new experience. It is natural to feel a bit nervous, but our crew is here to make you feel comfortable. If you're feeling sick or nauseous, please make use of the seasickness bag at your disposal or ask a crew member for one. Please pay attention as we tell you about the safety instructions for this boat. This is a non-smoking vessel and passengers are requested to remain seated at all times. In the unlikely event of an emergency, the captain will make an announcement for crew to hand out life jackets. Life jackets are stored in the forward, mid and aft areas of the main deck. And in here on the bottom deck, all these cupboards are clearly marked. Pull your life jacket over your head. Take the top strap, run it across your back to the loop, and kick it across your chest. Adjust the strap accordingly. Take the two bottom straps, run them across your back, and tie them tightly in front of you. There's a light attached, which is activated in water. And a whistle, which you can use to attract attention to yourself. On each life jacket, there is a red strap attached, which you can use to attach yourself to another person. Please, put on your life jacket first before assisting any other passengers. The Crotoa has 4 life rafts, which can only be accessed on the main deck. Remember to await instructions from the captain and the crew. If you're moving between decks, please ensure that you keep one hand on the stair rail at all times. There are safety belts in the front rows of the seats. Children should always be under adult supervision at all times, especially on the upper deck. Our purpose is to make your journey comfortable, so please sit back and relax.
Every nation which has gone through the sort of pain and suffering that we went through, their places that are places of pilgrimage, a symbol of freedom.
I see what he loves about you. You're so perfect. Hope you know that you got everything. Mess up and I'm haunted. And if I'm being honest,
They started trying to steal the children and women in order to enslave them. Then the Khoi people then arose, war broke out, and then their captain was killed. So Rhode Island therefore was used as a fortress for the invaders.
Invader like Tony. You're an invader. They're talking about Portuguese people who invaded.
just to build what they call a refreshment station. Now, in order that to get they had to cheat. They had superior firepower. That used to go on hunting expeditions to kill the Khoisan. They used to hunt them down. The groups that they came across were decimated or forced to flee. People who opposed or seemed to oppose Dutch settlement being banished from the land.
Well, Tomato were the first, to resist, the ships that were passing through here and dumping them there, and there's rebelling sailors got dumped into the island.
They were the first people to be imprisoned for political reasons. Sentenced to 13 years in prison on Robben Island. So whilst on the island, he wrote the Quran from memory.
All the unwanted things and people have been dumped on Robben Island, whether they were rebels against running the system, lepers, insane so-called insane people, and they all dumped because
generals and commanders of the armed forces that led the struggle during the wars of dispossession that covered a period of 100 years in the Eastern Cape were imprisoned on Robben Island. Political prisoners referred to Robben Island as the island of Magana, the left-handed.
When you are trying to escape,
You're so perfect. Oh, you know that you got everything. Mess up and I'm hard. And if I'm being honest, I see what he loves about you. You're so perfect. Oh, you know that you got everything. Mess up and I'm hard. And if I'm being honest,
African kings who were fighting for the land, who were there on the island before us.
The fact that they were on the island gave us a lot of advantage. ones who thought that the situation of us being treated as inferior to other races was not natural.
Days of their arrival, the white settlers, as they did elsewhere in Africa, set themselves the task of subjugating the indigenous population politically and economically. The apartheid system of today is the outcome of a process of historical development which has led to the entrenchment of white settler colonial domination. The racist regime is chosen by and represents only the white fifth of the population of our country. The black people of South Africa therefore are a colonized people. In the eyes of the white colonizers, the black people of South Africa exist merely as beasts of burden. Their life purpose is to serve fully and without question the interests of the white colonial master. Like savage beasts.
I was now among the first.
somewhere, but we off the boat. Yeah.
You need to embrace all that you are. Step fear in the face to reach for the stars. Been waiting for this moment, so let it begin. You're unbreakable.
Hi, Craig.
My colleague do the first part of your tour. So the basic outline of the tour itself is I take you around Robben Island. That's for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. It is a time capacity, so that we give you ample amount of time inside of the actual prison. That prison part of the tour is not conducted by myself. My colleague and myself say goodbye. You do not make use of the bus again. As you would have noted, it's a very short journey up. Now the second part of the tour is conducted by a former political prisoner. So that former prisoner speaks from personal experience, not just simply from a written narration. Unfortunately, as authentic as that is, it causes one simple legal requirement.
This is Robben Island. Freaking beautiful. The penguin.
Oh, so suddenly you poison the air I breathe. But if you don't hate me, then why would you break me? Feel it in my bones, I'm about to lose control. Oh, so suddenly you poison the air I breathe. But if you don't hate me, then why would you break me? Feel it in my bones, I'm about to lose control. Only so much I'm taking. Cause baby, a storm is coming. You better heed the warning, pray. Don't stay, run away, 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 away. Your heart rate is pouring. I'm a jet like a hurricane. Don't stay, away, 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 away.
I was saying that bring this.
People. By South African standards, that is exactly what took place. The way you use multiple groups, instead of basically turning the one against the other, you turn it into a class system. The apartheid system said not every racial category is equal. But what they did is they designed a mentality that basically saw people see themselves in classes in society itself, based on racial category. The simplification of that is, take your oppressed people, treat them equally in a negative light. You effectively give them a common enemy, and eventually they'll unite against you. But take the exact same group of people, subdivide them, and treat them badly on a descending scale, and the class system is born in their mind. Unfortunately, apartheid is far deeper than even that, because the apartheid system understood one key fact. A people are not truly divided by laws alone, even physical barriers by human psychology. A physical barrier is a challenge to human beings that they will attempt to cross over. So if you cannot basically divide them by physicality and by law, true division lies in the mind itself. You need to change the way a society thinks. The apartheid government's ultimate weapons was never the baton and the bullet. It was three subtle things: the education system, the media, and the mind of a child. Change the thinking of a single generation, you change the norm of that society. You have taken the abnormal and you made it normal for those people. Unfortunately, in 1950 this was achieved by a law called the Group Areas Act. The purpose of the law, it segregates South African society to different living areas according to racial code. To live in these areas. But they are not the target. The target is the first generation being born. Because effectively you have deprived them of the natural way that children learn, which is through interaction. Deprived of that, the only thing they know about those people is what you officially teach them. And if your education system is filled with misinformation and mistruth, you have the foundation of preconceived idea. If your state-controlled radios and newspapers reiterate what you've been taught in the schooling system, you actually have a confirmation of fact. And what you actually sit with is a process of indoctrination from birth to adulthood, with the first generation born being the birth of true apartheid. Unfortunately, they don't just suffer from preconceived idea, they now suffer from prejudice. Essentially, you'll find they will judge even before the next group starts speaking, and they no longer listen to learn, they listen to confirm what they already believe. They are generation one. They go on to become parents, and they unintentionally teach their children in the same life. Repeat the process across generations in time, and you've not just taken the abnormal and made it normal to those people, you have changed the very way that they think. Unfortunately, I choose my words carefully, I did not say thought past tense. The apartheid system is 31 years dead. It's officially seen to have ended in 1994 with our first democratic elections. But 31 years later, the apartheid laws are long dead and gone. The mentality of apartheid still lives on in our beautiful nation today. It will not take years to fix. It takes generations to undo. It's something to keep at the back of the mind. As we make our way throughout this island, I'll also highlight from this point of view why Robben Island was not just important to the survival of the political leaders here, but how it forced them to band together and how they would go on to become the future leadership of that beautiful nation in 1994. Robben Island in many ways is one of the biggest mistakes the apartheid government ever made. But I'll unfold that story at a later stage. Should you have any questions leading as we go down the island, I will answer them to the best of my abilities. I need to say this, I am a very friendly person. Why do I need to say that out loud? It's a statement, but it is made because you'll find I have this face, and this face since birth does not convey friendly. You find unfortunately I forget to smile, I am friendly on the inside. So if you have any questions, I will answer them to the best of my abilities. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the talk.
Thank you.
It's good, huh?
He's friendly in the inside. This guy killed me. Come on. It means I look scary, but I'm not scary. I'm actually not a bad person.
Island is one big prison building and then a harbor. Robben Island is 12 kilometers in its total shape, about 7 miles over. As that now, this is way too much infrastructure just for a prison complex. That is because it was designed not for a prison of the 1960s, it was designed as a military base for the Second World War. Robben Island effectively was the first line of defense for Table Bay and Cape Town. As a military base, it was fully fledged. They had accommodation on this island for nearly 2,500 people. You find that accommodation will now come into view. You will notice by the copy-paste style of design, very orthodox, very uniform, very basic, same design being used and repeated. That's the military style coming into motion. The simple idea for the sizing of the houses is the higher the rank of the officer, the bigger the house is allocated to them essentially. This area would have been home to the soldiers and their families of the Second World War. Then during the prison period, believe it or not, the guards and their families that lived on this island itself, which immediately brings to mind the question of how could various atrocities play themselves out on this island if there was a full-fledged community on Robben Island itself. The prison and the village was two worlds apart. Political prisoners would never be allowed in this direction, and then in turn you'll find the guards' families would never go near the prison. Prisoners were not used to basically walk the main roads. They would use double-fenced areas on the interior of the island itself to take them to the hot-level quarries and places of destinations on the island. That went to the extent that Mr. Mandela, who only saw this side of the island much later in his stay in the 1980s, he eventually commented in a long walk to freedom that before he was brought to this side of the island to collect seaweed, which we will see alongside the coastline, he didn't know that a village existed. One day working in a hard-labor quarry, he did however hear the distant sound of children's laughter. And for that moment he thought that his mind was playing tricks on him. But it was only years later that when he saw the village for his own eyes, he realized that the children's laughter he was hearing was in fact actual children's laughter, and a village existed here. The island, the village, and the prison again, two worlds kept apart. To the left-hand side you'll find the seaweed as I was mentioning it, which was regularly collected in the latter years after hard labor was stopped by the intervention of international aid organizations because of the severe bodily harm and long-term life complications that the hard labor was actually causing. Also looking to the distance, you will notice black and white figures amongst the rocks. You'll realize that those are African penguins, which is a critically endangered species, but it is definitely an attraction for many people. Now you don't have to strain your eyes to look in that distance because there's actually African penguins just up ahead over there. Now ladies and gentlemen, I need to say something before I lose your attention to the penguins, because when that happens, I'm not going to get your attention back. You find about the penguins is the simple conversation. Why do I say critically endangered? Because that is the exact title. The African penguin is, you'll find, unfortunately, a species of penguin that over 25 years has lost 97% of its population. 25 years ago it was an oil spill from which we thought we were recovering through 16 various colonies of African penguins. Boulders Beach, Robben Island is just 2 of many to name. We find that, unfortunately, what we failed to realize was, a year and a half ago, we would proudly announce nearly 10,000 penguins on the island. Then about 4 or 5 months later, they noticed that the penguin population at Boulders Beach was decreasing rapidly. We find that, unfortunately, the penguins were doing something very strange, which we only realized after the fact. They were basically swimming out the deep sea to die. So we weren't finding a mass of bodies to alert us that there was something happening. Unfortunately, on further research at Boulders Beach, they realized there was an influenza outbreak. Unfortunately, it already had spread to all of the other colonies, and it was later linked to the avian flu that was making its way throughout the world. Unfortunately, nothing could be done to stop its progress because of its widespread nature. As a result, it became a numbers game. To a population already in recovery, that was catastrophic. As a result of that, 10,000 penguins 1.5 years ago, we find our current day total stands at 1,800. That is an 80% population wipeout on the island itself. We have restarted the process that we did 25 years ago, but unfortunately at this point in time, we are in a worse off state. We find the aquarium, the last time I checked, is busy with a specialized project. They used to take about 40
everything.
With the allocation of families that can come with them, the total population is 150. You'll find 150 is you'll find people that usually is transferring from different provinces and use Robben Island as a stopgate between the two, finding other accommodation in Cape Town. The demographic is also usually young married couples with newborns. International attention is everywhere, and as a result of that, the world's attention fell on places like South Africa itself. The apartheid government soon realized that they could no longer simply kill political leaders because they would turn them into martyrs. So places like Robben Island were seen as dumping grounds, essentially, isolation until death. You find in a similar fashion to the leprosy suffered so many years before, political leaders will find what's sent to the island, only death would release them. You find what the apartheid government failed to realize was in arrogance and overconfidence, is that they would not rule until the end of time. So what they effectively did over time is they were collecting political leaders from right across the country, different racial categories, cultures and religions, people that would never have sat at the same fire in the outside world. They were bringing them to one central location, and they were giving them the combined belief, you will never see the light of day again. As they tried to break them as individuals through various kinds of torture, physical, emotional and psychological, what they were doing to the collective is forcing them to work together. Through the act of, you'll find cooperation, they saw this as the only avenue of survival. And what you found is people literally and figuratively learning to work together that would never have spoken in the outside world. The importance of this is multifaceted. To the survival of the prisoners itself, it allowed them a true form of equality. Where in the outside world you have the divide and conquer of a caste system. On this island, even though different racial categories wore different uniforms, as a small form of divide and conquer here. The cave on the far side is what served as their toilet with 5 to 6 buckets inside. You find that the bucket system is, unfortunately, as disgusting and primitive as it was utilized even in the prison. The prison, however, has the 2 things you need to make it work: running water and a sewage system to dump the buckets in. Those 2 things are absent here, so logic then says you would need to carry those buckets back to the prison to empty and clean it over there. You find the guards were not going to touch them, so as a result they would order prisoners to carry it back at the end of the day. And they would eventually use this as a form of punishment. If they did not particularly like you for any reason, they would consistently put you on bucket duty as a way of taking your dignity away. You find from the cave itself, if you go to the right of the area, there's a large chunk missing over there, and that is what was taken out in the 13.5 years the prisoners actually worked on the site. You find, unfortunately, the long-term exposure to commemorate his 50th personal freedom. when Mr. Mandela eventually does catch wind of it, his response is not gratitude, his response was anger. His point of view was they were taking a journey that was walked by so many different people, and they were making it about one person. And what he said is, he couldn't basically see that happening. As a result of that, the money had already been allocated, so it was instead redirected. And the first official reunion of former prisoners unofficially would come about, because they called upon any former prisoner who was able to attend at state expense. And on the day, near 1,200 would gather on Robben Island. They came from different time periods. They were not just leadership, they were different groups from different backgrounds. But the idea was it's the first gathering of its kind that large in size. And to commemorate the event itself, each one places down a stone, holding that fire, as you see. It also links to older African culture, and that is, you'll find, I cannot pronounce the word itself because I'm going to do it injustice, but there's a symbol of welcome that you would always find outside of villages. They would place a stone outside the entrance of the village itself, and over time a pile of stones would grow to show how welcome that village was to outsiders during their travels. And that is exactly what that pile of stones eventually became to represent. That Robben Island was welcome to all, not to endure the suffering that this island has caused, but to learn the lessons that it actually has to teach. Ladies and gentlemen, due to the heat, I am forced by necessity to talk before the time. I spoke about an event in 1960 that happened that catches the attention of the world. This is the Champville massacre that I'm referencing. Champville started as a mass demonstration that scared the apartheid government to their core, because Champville's idea was to break the law openly, a law that you considered unjust, then peacefully hand yourself over to the death and plead guilty to the charges presented against you. The idea is there are many unjust laws in South Africa, and you'll find the collective effort is that the apartheid government would run out of prison cells long before you ran out of people. The idea was by numerical advantage, you were going to break the legal system through sheer numbers. You find what scared the apartheid government is the group organizing this demonstration was an organization with their back faced towards you, pose you mortal risk. How do you justify lethal force? No answer given could justify. For that reason, Champville was reported to newspapers worldwide. And you'll find that the people to react, if I can be very blunt for the shortness of time, is not the governments of the world or the powerful. There were isolated incidents where governments spoke out in opposition, but large and by large, you'll find governments rather calculated the political and economic fallout of reacting to the Champville massacre. The people that did not make such a calculation, that simply established that wrong is wrong and the reaction must be given, was the common working people of the world. People called for the boycotting of South African goods. When governments failed to respond, sporting organizations, trade unions and student groups
This is a big cell. This is a big cell. It's a big
demanded that the government build a proper facility. Before those structures were built, there was a double fence in that area, just like we have this double fence here. Just like here, even down there, between the double fence, you'll have the prison dogs. They'll be barking at visitors.
He doesn't say anything.
Scaring everybody, intimidating everybody. Saying,
When the night is done, I just overthink every little thing, everything you said. I just bang my head, wondering what you meant. We're a loaded gun, put it at the heart, but it's always you who can let the spark. Don't wanna second guess.
4 weeks in solitary confinement, where you'll be all the it's part of punishment. If not else, you will be humiliated, sentenced to be whipped on your where you'll be tied with both hands and legs on what was called punishment, where you will be punished over one's lives.
Oh, so suddenly, poison the air I breathe. But if you don't hate me, then why would you break me? Feel it in my bones. I'm about to lose control. Only so much I'm taking. So get yourself to safety. 'Cause baby, a storm is coming. You better heed the warning, pray. Don't stay, run away, 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 away. Feel how the rain is pouring. I'm at you like a hurricane. Don't stay, away, away.
But the worst will be when they use electric shocks or when they suffocate you using wet towels. That will be the worst form of violence. Straight away, you will think, I'm going to die here, I'm going to die. You can't fail to think like that when you are treated in that way. And then, of course, you already know there are many others who have been tortured to death by these same guys. So your fear is not misplaced. It's not misplaced. You already know some of these guys are alleged to have tortured to death so and so, tortured to death so and so. Yeah. Some of these people were from my own neighborhood, tortured to death by these guys. So it was not something far-fetched. Yeah. And then you know we are going to be in solitary confinement for many months.
Away, away. Oh, so suddenly, poison the air I breathe. But if you don't hate me, then why would you break me? Feel it in my bones. I'm about to lose control. Only so much I'm taking. So get yourself to safety. 'Cause baby, a storm is coming. You better heed the warning, pray. Don't stay, run away, away, away.
15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 42, and life sentences. Those who were serving under 10 years were a smaller number. Most people 10 years upwards. The letters were censored. Letters from friends and relatives and letters to friends and relatives. The guards and the census office opened everything. After reading, they would cut out some of the things. Yeah. And then sadly, others died in the prison. Most prisoners, of course, we just have these names here. In other sections, we have other names. Most prisoners that died here, it was around things like tuberculosis, pneumonia, and of course, with lack of proper medical care or neglect that happened. Very few reported to have died because of the violence of the guards. Unfortunately, when you die as a political prisoner here, your body will not be taken to your family. No. You will be secretly buried by the government. In fact, before the Second World War, they have been buried right here on the island, right here on this side, on this side. This site was part of Robben Island grave site. This was part of Robben Island grave site. But after the Second World War, they've been buried on the mainland. So our families, they were just crying. People were just crying because it was really heartbreaking. And when I say there was no surprise about his death, it might look cold, harsh from me, but it's very true. During those days, you already knew if they arrest 4, 5, 6 guys, most probably one is not coming out alive. You already knew most probably one is not coming out alive. So you just expect, and it will indeed happen. Yeah. Let me stop there.
You pee in there, you popo?
Yeah, in that bucket. So you have to make sure you program yourself in such a way that at least you only have to pee in your toilet. Unless maybe there's a diarrhea outbreak, then no, there's a problem.
Diarrhea outbreak?
There is a problem.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There is a problem.
Thank you so much.
you very, very much. And I have to apologize for what you went through. I felt really bad listening to your story.
So these pictures were actually published in UK.
Oh, in the UK. But did they apologize to you for what they did to you?
Very few, very few.
Very few. This is Mr. Mandela's cell, as it was when prisoners were still sleeping on the floor.
Wow. It looks so small.
Yes, and I'm not told somebody, man. Mandela, so we are almost 7 years of figure up about where they move. The buckets used as toilets in the single cells. Yes. 1979, of course, prisoners were given beds. Mandela coming here in 64, and then here up until 82. In 82, he was then transferred to a mainland prison. He was released from the mainland.
Okay.
All in all, 27 years in prison, first 18 years in Robben Island.
27 years in here. That man was strong. Yeah.